and welcome back to Brian, our legal beagle. Our first question today is, can I challenge a will?
Well, hopefully you'll remember that I told you about the concept of legal rights not that long ago. Now, legal rights is when a spouse or a child who hasn't been left anything in the will can claim part of the deceased's estate. Now, this isn't challenging the will. This is a legal right which that spouse or child has in a deceased's estate. But if you're not a spouse or a child, or indeed you want to claim more than your legal rights, then it is possible to challenge a will, but this comes with a major health warning. It's really, really difficult to do. You have to prove one of three things. That either A, there was fraud, so in other words, somebody else signed the will, it wasn't them. B, the person who signed the will didn't have the mental capacity to do so, so they had dementia or something along those lines, which meant they didn't know what they were signing. Or last of all, there was some form of undue influence. In other words, somebody was threatening them to put something in a will and sign it. Now, one of these three things is really, really hard to prove. So it is possible to do it, but it's a really difficult thing. And more to the point, it's a really expensive thing to do. It's a court process which is going to cost you a lot of money to try and put through.
Another question is, what exactly is a complex will?
Well, the clue's in the name, really. Your complex will is when your circumstances are less than straightforward. Now, this may be to do with your family, so you might be on a second marriage, you might have children from a previous relationship, or you might have family members who you've fallen out with and wish to either disinherit, or you're concerned they may challenge the will further on down the line. But it might just not be to do with your family. It might be to do with the type of assets that you own. You might own foreign properties, such as a holiday home somewhere else in the world. You might have assets over a certain value, which means you need specific tax advice. Or there may be assets of a certain type, such as a business or a farm or something along those lines. If any of those things apply to you, then we really are getting into the realms of what we would call a complex will. And then you're really needing some specific legal advice in order to make sure that your will's done correctly.
I'd like to thank Brian, our legal beagle, for helping us out today, for answering all your questions.
If you have any further questions for Legal Beagle or any of our team, please tweet or Facebook or get in touch with us via email. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.